Alright, so welcome back to another video, and as you might be able to tell, I am not at my garage. I am at my neighbor's garage, and when we first moved here, I didn't know, but I've acquired the knowledge over time that he is really good at welding aluminum. So I've had him do a couple projects before, and I wanted to build a fuel tank for my Blazer, so I talked to him about it a few months ago, and he was all about it. So in this video, we're going to be building an aluminum fuel cell for the Blazer. As you guys may know, I do a lot of welding, but none of it is with aluminum, so I really have no idea what I'm doing. So that's why I'm going to introduce you to my neighbor Joe. I call him Welder Joe, just because, or Aluminum Welder Joe. That's what he's known as my house. But this is what he's got so far. I'm going to let him explain to you what it is, because like I said, I know how to weld steel together. Aluminum is completely different.
All right, so the fuel tank we made for Owen, it's out of 1/8 inch aluminum, 6061. The benefits to aluminum is it's lightweight, corrosion resistant, all that jazz. We threw some bends in it to give it the pizzazz. We've got some dimple dyed baffles. We're going to measure those out, get those tacked in, and then TIG weld out the outside. For the baffles, we're going to use a spool gun just because it's a lot easier to get those welds in a more confined space and it's quicker. So after we get the baffles in, we'll get the top plate and the pump housing piece tacked in and welded in, and then it's all ready for rock crawling at that point.
And one of the big challenges, well, not challenges really, but kind of dilemmas I had with buying a fuel tank is I really hate aftermarket fuel pumps. I had one in my Cherokee. I had like 3 different kinds, and I had problems with all of them. So I really wanted to keep the factory fuel pump, but you can't just buy an aluminum fuel tank for a S10 Blazer that keeps the factory fuel pump. So in this design, we made it, or Joe made it, so we could still use the factory fuel pump, factory sending unit, so my fuel gauge will work, everything like that. So that's one of the benefits of building it completely by yourself.
So for these baffles, really the primary purpose is just to keep the gas from sloshing around too much. So I went with taking a cross section of what the tank's going to look like, kind of threw a hole pattern around it and then dimple dyed it. And the theory is if the dimple's pointing towards where the pump's going to be, it'll be easier for the fuel to come through the dimple to hold than it will be to flow back. So we're doing some seat of the pants engineering here, but hopefully this works pretty well. Have to trim a little bit on this to get it to settle down in there, but I think it'll work just fine. Time to make some sparkles. Kind of eyeball an angle on that. Yeah, this might be. Okay, so the baffles are in. I'm reiterating seat of the pants engineering because I am no fluid dynamicist. So we spool gunned the baffles in. It's not pretty, but a little unleaded isn't going to know a pretty TIG weld from an ugly spool gun weld in this application. So chipped all the BBs off, wire brushed everything best we could, and now we're going to put the top plate on and start buttoning it up. And this should hopefully keep some of the fuel corralled around the pump. And really, this is just to inhibit sloshing. It's a little tricky, but in the past I filled them up with water and tipped them around, but we're kind of shooting from the hip here. So anyway, so now we're going to switch our welder from spool gun to TIG welder and start doing the fun pretty soon.
Okay, so Joe got the tank pretty much all welded up, but we brought it out here to do a little bit test fit, make sure that the fuel sender is going to fit and everything, and that it's actually going to fit into the Blazer, and it fits perfect. So you can kind of see it matches the seat right there. Fuel spout will go right there, and then that leaves all this space that was taken up by the tank that I can use for storage, or I have a plan on where I want to cut the back of this off and make some changes, and now I can. So super happy with how that fits though.
And you gained an extra 1.5 gallons of capacity. So
It's kind of crazy. Takes up less space and it has more capacity just because it was designed to fit there. This one was designed to fit underneath the truck, you know, not in the back of it. So it's just looks way better, has a little bit better capacity, and it's lighter.
yeah.
Which doesn't matter because
What's this fuel? Fuel it may not be.
well, yeah. Well,
Yep.
super happy with that. So now we're gonna pull it out and do more aluminum stuff, I guess.
Keep working on it, I guess. Yeah.
Yep, we'll get it pulled out.
So that seat of the pants engineering is coming back to haunt us, because in my haste of building this, I put this U shape going the wrong direction. So we're going to have the opportunity to reconfigure this fuel pump port here so that it can exit the correct part of the tank. So anyway, that's part of the adventure, I suppose. So I'll get that cut and we'll get this finished up throwing.
All right, so unfortunately we're gonna have to leave it off there. We wanted to get this done in this video, but the mailman hasn't showed up yet, so that's still a couple days out, and we have to kind of redo this. So we're gonna order a couple new things, and well, I say he's gonna do it because I don't know what I'm doing, but he's gonna get a couple more things made up, and get that cut out and stuff. But we only had today to work on this, so he's got to go back to work. So he's gonna get this done kind of on his own time, and in the next video we'll be putting this into the Blazer. I gotta build some mounts for this, but that'll be my job because they're gonna be made out of angle iron and scraps. So not nearly as pretty, but luckily they'll be under it and you won't see it. But that'll all be in the next video, so thank you guys for watching, and huge thanks to Aluminum Welder Joe for helping out on this. So yeah, stay tuned for the next one.